The crowd roars as Margaret's feet touch the scalding iron. She screams not from pain, but from knowing her fate is sealed. If her flesh burns, she's guilty. If it doesn't, she's a witch. Welcome to 14th century Europe, where being born a woman meant living under a justice system designed to destroy you. I'm talking about punishments so brutal, so twisted, that they make modern true crime look like bedtime stories. Today we're diving into the darkest corners of medieval justice, where women faced tortures that weren't just about punishment, but about control, humiliation, and complete annihilation of the female spirit. These weren't random acts of cruelty. They were systematic, legal, and terrifyingly common. From the ducking stool that could drown you for speaking your mind, to the scold's bridle that silenced difficult women forever, to trials by ordeal that were rigged from the start. Medieval society had perfected the art of breaking women who dared step out of line. But here's what's truly chilling. Many of these punishments weren't for actual crimes. They were for being too independent, too vocal, or simply too threatening to male authority. Sound familiar? Drop a comment right now if you're ready to journey into humanity's darkest chapter. But I'm warning you, once you see how deep this rabbit hole goes, you'll never look at medieval chivalry the same way again. What you're about to discover will make you question everything you thought you knew about the good old days. Picture this. It's 1467 in Yorkshire, England. Eleanor Cobb makes the mistake that countless women before her have made. She argues with her husband in public, not screaming, not violent, just disagreeing. By sunset, she's wearing a contraption that will haunt your nightmares. The scold's bridle, a metal cage locked around a woman's head with a spiked plate forced into her mouth. Every attempt to speak drives the spikes deeper into her tongue. Eleanor will parade through town wearing this torture device, a walking advertisement of what happens to difficult wives. But wait, it gets worse. The bridle wasn't just punishment, it was performance art. Towns competed to create the most humiliating versions. Some had bells attached, announcing the woman's shame blocks away. Others had chains, allowing husbands to lead their wives like animals through the marketplace. Think about it, this is centuries before social media, but they'd already perfected public shaming as a weapon against women. Eleanor's real crime? She'd inherited her father's business and refused to hand it over to her husband's brother. In medieval England, a woman with economic independence was more dangerous than any criminal. The scold's bridle could be worn for hours, days, or even weeks. Many women died from infected tongue wounds. Others never spoke again, not because they couldn't, but because they were too broken to try. Team Eleanor or Team Silent Obedience? Drop your choice below. But trust me, you haven't seen anything yet, because what happened to accused witches makes the scold's bridle look like a gentle warning. Margaret de Clare stares at the pond that will determine her fate. It's 1324, and someone whispered the word witch. Now she faces trial by water, a test designed by twisted logic that makes Catch-22 look fair. Here's the horrifying genius of trial by ordeal. If Margaret sinks and drowns, she's innocent, too late to matter. If she floats, the water has rejected her corrupted soul, proving she's a witch who must burn. It's a death sentence wrapped in divine justice. Margaret's hands are bound, a rope around her waist, theoretically to rescue her if she sinks. But here's what the history books don't tell you. The ropes were often cut too short, or the executioners moved too slowly. Accidents happened with suspicious frequency. Imagine being charged with a crime where the only way to prove innocence is to die trying. As Margaret hits the water, time stops. Her heavy medieval dress drags her down. Good news for her soul, terrible news for her survival. The crowd watches, some praying, others betting on the outcome like it's a sporting event. But trial by water was just one option. Trial by fire meant grasping red-hot iron bars. If your burns healed cleanly in 3 days, God had proven your innocence. Trial by combat let women fight professional warriors to prove their virtue. The system wasn't broken, it was working exactly as designed. Pause the video and guess. Does Margaret survive? The answer will shock you. But even surviving trial by ordeal was just the beginning of a woman's nightmare. The year is 1398, and Alice Redmayne has committed the ultimate medieval crime. She's a successful businesswoman who refuses to remarry. The ducking stool awaits, a chair attached to a long beam that will plunge her repeatedly into the freezing river until she learns her place. The ducking stool wasn't about execution. It was about breaking spirits through systematic torture. Alice is strapped to the chair, fully clothed in heavy wool that becomes dead weight in water. The crowd gathers like it's festival day, bringing children to watch the entertainment. Down she goes. The shock of icy water fills her lungs. Up she comes, gasping, desperate. Down again before she can fully breathe. This continues for 20 minutes, 30, an hour, however long it takes to shatter her will completely. This is waterboarding, centuries before we had a name for it. But Alice's real punishment isn't physical, it's social annihilation. After the ducking, she's marked forever as a difficult woman. No merchant will trade with her, no church will grant her sanctuary. Her own family turns away in shame. The ducking stool targeted specific crimes, being a shrewd trader, charging fair prices for goods, refusing unwanted marriage proposals, or simply speaking back to male authority. These weren't legal violations. They were challenges to the social order that demanded women remain invisible and powerless. Here's the question that'll haunt you. What if Alice had succeeded? What if medieval women had fought back? The answer reveals the most terrifying truth about these punishments. Here's the truth that keeps me awake at night. These punishments weren't about justice. They were about terrorism. Medieval society used legal torture to ensure women never forgot their place, never challenged the system, never reached for power. But some women fought back anyway. Joan of Arc faced burning rather than submission. Christine de Pizan became Europe's first professional female writer despite the risks. Eleanor of Aquitaine ruled kingdoms while men tried to cage her spirit. Today, when we see women worldwide still fighting for basic rights to speak freely, to control their bodies, to exist safely in public spaces, we're watching the same battle that medieval women fought. The methods have evolved, but the struggle for autonomy remains eerily similar. These weren't just punishments, they were warnings written in blood and pain, designed to echo through generations. Understanding this history isn't about dwelling in darkness, it's about honoring the courage of women who endured hell so we could stand where we are today. If this opened your eyes to how recently women gained basic human rights, subscribe, because next week we're diving into the underground networks of medieval women who fought back and won.